Welcome to the Real for Life podcast with Jesse and Joe, with a special 10th episode coming at you today. And when I say special, I don't mean content-wise.
No.
I don't think either of us did our homework. It's just
I got a couple things.
we're in the double digits now.
Oh, we're like official.
Yeah, we're official. Yeah. So, how was your day?
Pretty lazy. It's been raining all day. I was gonna field mow, then I said fuck it. Then I bought that side by side, so I just cruised around by myself.
This might be a bragging episode.
What?
A bragging episode.
No, it's just a new toy, and Katie had allergies, so she didn't want to leave the fucking house. So I was like, fuck.
I do think you need to yell at your family to get off the internet, because you're chopping up a little.
Anybody's on the internet. The TV's not even on.
Wow. I don't understand. You have Starlink. There should be no issues.
I don't know.
With internet. Super weird. Either way.
Should I scream upstairs really loudly?
Nah. It is what
Mom,
it is.
Meatloaf. Fuck.
Meatloaf, Mom. Let's go. So yeah, I drove back from Seattle today. We went to a Mariners game, which was kind of cool. They were playing the Angels. It was a blowout. It was like 9-0.
Well, that's fun.
I mean, yeah, they definitely kicked the crap out of them, and it was cool. There was a bases loaded grand slam.
Nice.
Which was pretty cool, huge celebration, all that good stuff. Have no desire to ever move to Seattle. Not that Portland's much better, but oh gosh, I had to listen to this group of 3 guys behind me at dinner talk about the Supreme Court and how Alito should be kicked out and all this. I was just trying so bad to say. They're basically just sitting there complaining about the current state of the world and how literally and they literally, one guy literally said 3 different things that they were complaining about that were better under Trump. And yet none of them could admit. They're like, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Definitely not voting for Trump. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, it's just like California moving to fucking Texas, and then they just change the platform of the state, and they don't understand why it starts to suck.
Yeah. How do you not see that liberal policies have made it worse? Not to get into politics this soon, but to listen to them talk about all the things that they were pissed about. And one of them even talked about the whole Roe v. Wade thing, how it shouldn't have been repealed, but it should have been repealed because the way the law was written was total garbage. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that. It's and that's not pro or anti-life. That's just a statement of it was a poorly written law.
Gotcha. I know what it is. I don't know why it was poorly written.
It was just interesting to listen to him talk. But we went to I'm gonna sound terrible here. So my wife booked one Mariners game on the first day of Pride Month, so it was Gay Pride Night.
Oh, that's fun.
I gotta be honest.
There's not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's definitely busy downtown.
I don't want drag queen story hour, but a baseball game full of gay people, it was awesome.
So you got hit on a lot because you're basically a bear.
I got a great butt. Yes. I got a look or two, but it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a different vibe for sure, but it was it was pretty cool. And then I drove back because I sold my camper. Dude drove up from Utah. Yeah, dude drove up from Utah, right? So the irony here, super cool guy, right? But he had I'm not going to say his last name, but let's just say it's synonymous with a beer, okay?
Okay.
Slits. But they're Mormons, so he doesn't drink.
Oh. Okay.
That's got to be a bummer.
Miller.
No, I'm not going to say.
That's not fair.
Yeah. But so sold that because my truck took a dump on me again. The Ram Eco Diesel is garbage.
Anytime you put a turbo on an engine that is small to make up for horsepower, the engine's going to fail.
And Toyota is already learning that. They took the V8 out of the Tundra, and the new Tundra already has a recall on it for the main bearing because the engine is running at such high pressure because it's a twin turbo V6 that the main bearing can't handle it.
Yeah, that's what happened to my F-150. V6, twin turbo, and it just started fucking falling apart.
And the mileage isn't even much better.
Mine was.
Your mileage?
Oh, yeah. I got like 22 miles to the gallon. My new truck gets like 13.
That's what's hilarious. So you got the Ram 1500.
Yeah.
My 2500 that I just bought, Seattle, I was averaging 14.5 miles a gallon, which honestly, like,
yeah, but that's all highway.
I know, but my Ram with the camper on it, that's what it did because it was so unaerodynamic.
Oh.
So I was worried about the gas mileage, but I'm already pretty much used to that gas mileage anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss about my F-150 is like, got like 18 to 22.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we first got the Eco Diesel, we went to Bend and back and averaged 25. But
And then you fucked with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I fucked with it. I'm not messing with this Power Wagon. It's staying the way it is. Gonna get a tasteful canopy. I already bought 35s for it. They go on Tuesday. But other than that, listen, Terry's Jubilee, and that's it. Because I'm trying to lose weight.
All right, what are your notes?
All right, I'll read my notes and then you read yours. So, my notes for the week. I didn't get to this one last week. Why we have to continue the podcast. Then I got college is lame, new career smashed. The Civil War outcome. United States has a credit problem. I blame Birdman. People are still wearing masks. Proback versus Snapback. I milked a cow. And Roblox wife left me game.
Okay. You have a lot more notes than I do, as per usual.
Well, I got to make sure I get to them because
always mine are driving. So like people who turn right to turn left, like they're making a left-hand turn and then they kind of like jaunt over to the right to turn left. That doesn't help. That's not.
Bro, you're not driving a fucking 18-wheeler. Okay?
Right. You're in a Prius.
Yeah, you don't need to swing wide.
Is the public worse because I'm older, or is it just worse? And how bad is it going to be? And all Will Smith's movies are ruined.
All right, I would love to start with that one because I've actually been thinking about that because that new Bad Boys movie is coming out.
Right, and I was watching MIB today.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched a couple of his movies after all of his personal shit got thrown through the laundry or whatever the term is. And then you just realize he's a bitch, which he can still beat the shit out of me for sure. But he's a simp. I think that's the term.
Well, he wouldn't beat. He would slap the shit out of you.
Right. He would slap. Keeps my wife's name out your mouth. But he's like in every movie for the most part, he's like a badass. But then you realize who he is as a human, and you're like, it falls flat now.
He's like a cuck and a simp.
Right.
You can't come back from that.
No, if your son's friends ran a gangbang on your wife, you can't be fucking what's Bad Boys.
Yeah, you can't be bad boy. Definitely not for life.
So yeah, every movie I've watched ever since then with him in it, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense anymore.
The thing is nowadays, you really have to make an effort to make sure that you don't see your favorite actors outside of acting because you're going to hate them. Like the dude that plays Reacher right now that everybody, Alan Richter or something like that, Alan Rickman.
The giant.
I love that show Reacher. But then you hear his politics and you're like, oh crap, here we go.
Well, I mean, Robert De Niro's getting fucked with a lot right now, which cracks me up.
Yeah. Well, wait, Robert De Niro or Robert De Niro. Yeah, with all of his statements, that's full-fledged Trump derangement syndrome.
Right, and being rich your entire life and never being part of society.
Yeah, but other than politics, also, like, have you ever heard Vin Diesel not in a movie?
No. Does he make good movies?
No, well, Vin Diesel, like, family, I talk like this.
I heard one thing he said, and I was like, that is not fucking true. So, like, he said at Paul Walker's funeral, Paul Walker's mom went up to him and said, I'm sorry for your loss. I lost a son, but you lost a brother. And I'm like, I don't believe that.
I don't either. I mean, I know they were on some movies together, but like,
right.
Like
It's
you
like,
need to hear Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel made a pop song.
oh, you told me about this.
Yes. Yeah.
I
I'm
haven't
just
listened.
saying, like, you're good actors. You don't want to see them outside a movie. You don't
And it
want
goes
to do
back
it.
to Mark Wahlberg when all this shit started happening. He was like, "We're rich. We shouldn't be in politics. Why would anybody give a fuck about your opinion?" I'm ad libbing, but that's basically what he said.
Yeah. And good for him.
Right.
So
I also had another note in here.
Mhm.
It's not really a note. It's kind of just a joke. So I wrote because the song "Give Me the Loot" was on,
Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
right? And that like used to be hard as fuck, right? So you
Mhm.
thought "Give Me the Loot" was like gangster, but it was probably Diddy's slang for boy pussy.
Ooh. Wow. I never thought he was good at rapping.
Nah.
Wondered how he had so much power, and now we know why.
Yep.
Um.
Let's do the podcast can't end because that one was left over.
Oh, yeah. So I got go a little deep on this one.
Oh.
Yes, in that way. No, I just my buddy Jeremy had a heart attack. I think it's been about 6 weeks now.
Right.
And one of the things they did a slideshow at the funeral, and his wife was asking for pictures. I have none. Like, I've known this dude since 2011. We've got no pictures together. He just wasn't like a picture kind of guy.
Neither do we. And I've known you since the
Exactly.
first fucking grade. I don't have any pictures with Luke.
Yeah. So I've got, and that's
weird.
my point here. I've got no pictures of my friend who's not with me anymore. So I have nothing to like remember him by. And, God forbid if something should happen to one of us, I want these stupid conversations for us to be able to go back and listen to, just so that we have something.
That's pretty gay. But okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fair to me.
I have a picture of you in my phone though. And it's more
Is it incriminating?
not in that sense, but it's hilarious because we were camping and you were so proud of your outfit.
Oh, is that my polar sleeping bag hoodie thing?
Yes.
I love that thing.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's a sleeping bag that you wear. It's awesome. I can't believe you don't like that.
Just because, what is it, Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park?
Uh-huh.
Just because it can be done doesn't mean it should be done.
You were so preoccupied with, could you do it? You never stopped to think, should you do it?
Boom.
Oh, it's a great picture. Yeah. Little Betty's in there. That's cool.
That's it. That's like my only picture.
Yeah. I mean, at least we have Facebook, though. Like my buddy Jeremy, he didn't have any pictures of himself on Facebook or Instagram or anything. So
that's weird.
Yeah. College is lame. I had this bright idea that I was gonna use my GI Bill because I've got like the good GI Bill where you actually make money when you go to school. I've never used it.
There's a difference in GI Bills?
Oh yeah, absolutely. During 9/11, post 9/11, you could sign up for the 9/11 GI Bill, which like paid significantly more of your tuition, and it also gave you supplemental income to live off of while you're going to school. Yeah, it's like the one to have. So, but the problem is I hate school. Like I suck at it. So basically half the people I know, especially the young ones at this point, all of them have counselors. All of them. And all of the big podcasts and us at some
They need
point,
a safe environment, Jesse.
I know,
The
but they're
world's
all
a scary
sponsored
place.
by this betterhealth.com, where it's like, if you don't like your counselor, you can change at any time. So basically, like, if they don't tell you what you want to hear, you can just change counselors.
Well, 'cause it's a money grab.
Right. But all of the younger people are in some form of counseling. There's not enough counselors out there. And my summation is that there's just a huge lack of purpose in the younger generation. They have no purpose, so they're just lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any guiding direction.
Well, and they
And
think work's a waste of time.
absolutely. And so that's why I was like, you know what? There's a huge shortage in this field. This is my opportunity. I could work from home, which would be nice. I could be a counselor, certified counselor. So
Which I'm pretty sure you could just get on Google. It's right next to being ordained.
so you can do that to be a quote life coach, which is probably the route I'll go. But to be a certified counselor where you can actually like take insurance money, yeah, you have to get it's a master's degree, right? Which let's just point out the fact I would make a terrible counselor. Do we know
Well, in your
why?
life, have you ever met a counselor outside of counseling?
No.
They all have a fucked up life.
Oh,
All of them.
I'm just
It's
saying, like,
plumbers have horrible plumbing, mechanics have shitty cars, counselors have shitty lives.
and there's no way I could listen to somebody's issues without chiming in and taking over the entire conversation.
Oh yeah, stop
Because
being
I'm a
bitch.
narcissist. Yeah. I fucking talk too much. It is what it is. So anyway, so I'm like looking into different schools. I'm like,
Sidebar. So Jesse calls me 10 years ago.
Oh boy.
Was it 10 years ago? How long have you been married?
Sure.
It was about 10 years ago. And Tana wanted to have a kid. And you were like, I'm not ready for that. So you called me and tell me this. And you're like, I'm too self-centered to have a kid.
Yeah,
that's true,
accurate.
but a lot's going to change. I said two things. I go, your life's going to change a lot. I'm combining multiple stories into one here, by the way.
Yeah.
And one before that is you were agnostic for a long time. And I said, as soon as you have a kid, I'm going to call you and ask you if you believe in God. And I
remember
did.
that. Yep, I remember that.
And how that turned out?
I mean, I was definitely sticking to my guns, so I kind of denied it at the time. But you're 100% accurate. Like all of those thoughts go through your head. Like, how is this humanly possible? This perfect little thing,
right? And your life changes.
It's amazing. Yeah, it does. Yeah, sure.
So way back in the day, well, not that far back, 15 years ago, not even that far. Anyways, you call me, and AFI is our favorite band. Yep. And they were performing Halloween in Portland. And you're like, I'm getting us tickets, fly down.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, let me check the calendar. I go, I can't. It's my weekend with my kid. And you're like, fuck that. This is why I never want kids. And I go, no. It's my choice not to go because I'd rather spend it with my kid. And you can even fathom that. I bet you get it now, though.
Oh, I totally get it now.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot changes. It was just pretty funny.
I'm lucky enough.
Really sentimental in this one.
Yeah. Well, I'm super fortunate enough that, I live with my kid and everything. And even on a daily basis, because I basically get to see him for like 30 minutes in the morning, getting him ready, and then 30 minutes before I put him to bed, because that's the way my work schedule is. And I feel terrible about that all the time. So like, yeah, I can totally understand. You're not going to go see AFI, over hanging out.
Ever.
Even as I'm saying it now, I feel like you should have just gone.
I should have just gone. I mean, my wife was like, just fucking go. I'm like, but you only get like 5 or 6 Halloweens that are fun. Yeah. After they're like, they 100%. Figured it out, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like when they're little kids, it's awesome. But then they get older and they still want to dress up and go. And Jalen's like, still wants to go. I'm like, bro, you have a beard and an Adam's apple. Let it go.
You're not trick-or-treating at this point. You're casing the joint.
Right. I go, you do realize this year you're going to be driving.
Yeah, that's too old. But back to the school thing. So I'm looking at all these colleges and they're like, well, you need to have your bachelor's degree. We got to get you that first. And I was like, I have education equivalent to a bachelor's degree. I have military service. What's the deal?
Yeah,
Well,
what's the difference?
you still need a bachelor's. I was like, well, what does a bachelor's have to be in? Oh, it doesn't matter. I was like, so I can get a bachelor's in basket weaving, and that would satisfy the requirements of entering into your 2-year program. Yeah. And right there, I was like, fuck them. I'm not doing this. That's why I'm so happy that I beat the system in the first place by getting all my education in the Army, because school is a fucking waste.
Yeah.
At least in its current form. Like, it's good to be educated, but I'm trying to draw a distinction here. There's a big difference between being educated and being in school.
Yeah.
If I can get a bachelor's in basket weaving and that's all it takes to enter the master's program, it's done. And the Army's the same way, because I worked at a place where we processed incoming OCS candidates,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, oh, I'm signing up for the Apache program. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to fly the Chinook. Like, cool. What's your degree in? English literature. Cool. What's your degree in? Drama. These people can be officers in the military because the only requirement is a bachelor's degree, but they don't care what it's in.
Right.
It's just kind of I get maybe it's like, well, it proves that they committed to something and paid the VIG, basically.
No, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah,
so
it
remember
is.
that friend of ours that was like, oh my gosh, he drives this nice car with rims
Yes.
in high school. Yes. So like years ago, we get in this argument.
He's got a Mitsubishi GT 3000.
Yeah. And she's calling me racist. And I'm like, dude, I am not fucking racist. And so we're going back and forth, and it's on Facebook naturally. So I drag in one of my friends.
Hold on. You didn't bust out that. How could I be racist? I've been with you.
True. And so I drag in a friend that's, black. And she goes, oh, he's hardly black. I'm like, that's more racist than anything I've said in any of this argument.
You can't say that.
Her whole point, though, her biggest comeback was, well, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm educated. Because she had just graduated from college. And like, I'm like, no, you went to school.
Sleeping with multiple black dudes does not make you educated. It does make you a good person. Thank you.
Oh, God. That argument, that one, I didn't even have kids during this argument. I'm just like, you're gone.
Yeah. Some people never I don't know. They get to a point like that. Yeah, that's cool in high school, but then they never get past that.
Dude,
I don't understand people that are over the age of 30 that do the whole yo, I heard you were talking shit. That is such a fucking dude. I gotta go to work tomorrow, bro. I got a lawn to mow. I don't have time for, oh, I heard you were talking shit. Respect.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit. I mean, I guess in high school, that's really all you have, So I kind of understand that totally. But
let's just grow the fuck up and let shit go.
Yeah, dude, I make more money than you and my wife's hotter. I won. We don't need to argue anymore.
Yeah, this person's posts are all, and I'm glad she has a family now, and I'm glad she's doing well. So I'm not trying to take that away from her in any means.
Totally.
But all of her posts are like of how happy everything is all the time. And you're just like, that is such bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go like this. Like, I'm not even wearing a watch, but let's say I'm wearing a watch and it's like a blinged out watch. So they'll be they'll pan the food they're eating because they're at a fancy restaurant, and the watch and a ring will just be in it.
Yep.
Or their car that they took to go to dinner. You're just like, dude, who gives a shit? You're 40. As I'm saying this, you're sitting in front of your douchebag Jeep and your Rogue weights.
Well, that's a difference though, because you can't, the weights is not a bling thing. That's a health thing.
But they're Rogue.
This doesn't happen by accident, They're Rogue because Because I'm a CrossFit guy. I gotta have rogue stuff. What are you talking about?
Just giving you shit.
That's like, and the Jeep I use,
This is
and it's not something that I just bought. Like I built that thing. I mined the precious metal myself, forged it, the whole thing.
You never sent me a picture of the fucking rear suspension.
Oh, I need to send you that. It's sweet. I had to like C-notch the frame.
Right.
Yeah.
But not in your typical C notch, in a sideways C notch.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture of it. It's pretty sweet. I think it'll hold up. It's good enough. That's why it's called good enough off-road. Yeah.
Dude, I fucked myself up last night. We've been mobbing around, obviously, because I got a new toy. So we go out in the woods. Katie's screaming.
How's the power in that? It's a 900, right?
Yeah, it's plenty.
Plenty?
Plenty.
And can you imagine driving one of those things with 250 horsepower?
No.
Because you can buy those now. I don't even understand. Like, I'm all about freedom and everything, but you will die with some of these new side-by-sides.
This is plenty for what I want to do.
Stupid powerful.
I literally just want to go to Big Barn, cruise around the street, and go in the woods. I'm not racing. So we're mobbing around. My back area is pretty overly grown right now. So I'm like guessing where the trails are in the woods.
Oh, I thought you were saying your ass was big.
No.
No, the back of your property is overgrown with weeds.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to like remember where the fucking trails are. Because we're talking weeds that are 4 feet tall.
Taller than you. Yeah.
Yes. And I hit a stump going probably 30. That fucking hurt. This it's got like the racing steering wheel where your like thumbs.
That would have totaled your truck though, which is a testament to how cool those things are.
Yeah, I got the big tires on it and shit. It fucking took it like nothing. But the steering wheel jerked so hard and my thumb was stuck in that notch.
Uh-oh.
I like sprained my thumb. That hurt like a bitch. And then a bunch of warning lights came on and I was like, of course, I've had it for 3 days. Why would I not have just broken it? Then I mobbed around some more.
I want you bringing it down to Moab.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah.
And then I turned it back on. It worked just fine. All the warning lights were off. So it's fine.
So that was college is lame. You got another one there?
Well, just driving etiquette. We went Will Smith. Public worse because I'm older, or is it just worse? So that's a good one because every time, like you live in the public, I live in the country.
Yep.
So every time I have to go into like town, I just get fucking angry on how stupid people are.
Yeah.
And mostly it's because of just driving. And it's like some people drive too nice and it fucks up the flow of traffic. Like they stop in a roundabout or they stop to let you in the street. And it's like you're fucking up everything right now. And then they wave you on, like, come on, let's go. And it's like, okay, I'm going, but
I'm a nice person.
Right. Or they're just opposite. They don't know the 1-1 rule when you're merging.
Zipper. It's a zipper.
Yeah. And the worst, I don't know why this pisses me off so much, but like if you're in a parking lot and there's parking lot lanes and then there's like the 1 or 2 main throughways and you're in the parking lot lane leaving, why does that person stop and wait for you to come out and have to be in that lane? Just pick another lane. Why does it have to be my lane? So now you're backing up traffic into the goddamn street just because you're waiting on me, where you could just go to the next lane and turn.
Because they're one-way lanes, right?
Sometimes they're one-way lanes. But even if it was a one-way lane and I'm exiting, they're coming in the wrong way.
Yeah.
People are stupid and it drives me insane.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But it's like, and this is why old men are grumpier than shit, because they're just sick of everybody's bullshit.
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot. Like, because every single generation says, all these kids are letting the world go to hell and they're ruining America. And I'm really trying to be mindful of that's just the mode that I'm in right now because I'm old now. I'm 42. But I don't think it is. I honestly think we're in like it's not good right now.
No. And every
I mean, they
generation's
just
worse than the
indicted a
last.
former president for using the wrong checking account. Like, the fuck are we doing? It's so ridiculous. So I don't know. I honestly do think the new generation is pretty fucked. I mean, if we went to war right now, you can look at every single generation coming up and be like, yeah, the 70s, they were hippies, but they were still had testosterone and they could fight a war, right?
Yeah.
Like the 80s, they wore weird clothes, but they had testosterone. They could butch it up. They could fight a war. And you had people volunteering for the military still. After 9/11, you saw a huge surge in recruitment because people, even though it was wrong and they were misled, they believed in the cause. You know, classic example, Patrick Tillman, and they signed up for service. Nobody is signing up to serve the country right now. None of the new generation wants to do it. So old people just have to stay in, and it
Right.
sucks. Not
There's
to
no
mention the
safe
fact
space.
testosterone has dropped 50% in like the last 20, 30 years. Like, if we had to defend this country today, I don't know that it would happen.
There's still
I mean,
that.
even if we had a draft, look at the dudes. Like, there's still a couple like frat boy summer bros out there. Like, we'd have some, just not near the percentage of you know men that could be war fighters. I don't see it.
I've had a few kid employees that come through that impress me, like fresh out of high school,
Mhm.
and are just sick of all the bullshit. So I mean, that still exists. I just think it's not that common anymore.
You know what I saw that exists today? I almost went up and shook their hands. Dude, you are not going to believe this. I saw it. I was telling Tana, like, this is amazing. It's like I just saw Bigfoot. Okay. 3 bros at the bagel shop this morning in Seattle.
Hmm.
All 3 of them, Joe, wearing Jncos.
Oh, Jesus.
The old school Jncos where they like flare out. You couldn't even tell what kind of shoes they were wearing. But they were not only were they wearing Jncos, Joe, they had like the old 90s shirts, the big chain, and like the 90s like medium fade kind of thing. Like they could have been in a Smash Mouth video, right?
Did they have a big yellow chain that was plastic from Home Depot?
No,
Hold
and
their
that's why
wallet.
I was cooler than everybody else. Yes. I had a plastic yellow chain because I skated a lot. Yes, I rollerbladed. And the metal one would whip around and hit my junk. So I got a plastic one. It
Hmm.
was awesome. The point is all 3 of these dudes, Jinkos, the entire look of the 90s. It was like traveling in time, and there were 3 of them.
And that's a good thing.
Well, it was weird because, like, first of all, where the fuck did 3 people find these pants? I haven't seen them for sale.
They're back in style. It's insane.
Yeah. So the lady behind me, who's like older than me, she's probably like 45. So I'm thinking, well, no, she was probably like 52. A decent 52, by the way. Anyway, so she's behind me. And I'm like, I look back at her. I'm like, are you seeing this? She's like, what? All 3 of those dudes are wearing Jinkos. She's like, what are Jinkos? I'm like, Jinkos, okay. In the late 90s, they
It was
were
like a
these
5-year
jeans.
thing.
Yeah, where the rear pockets went all the way down to your knees, and the openings at the ankles were like 36 inches. And she like peered over my shoulder and looked and saw the dudes and was like, "Oh my god!" Like it was like she had an epiphany.
I remember that now.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it was a moment. Yep.
No, my
was like,
kid owns
I was
Jnco.
this fucking close to paying for their food. Just out of respect. Like, you're me 25 years ago.
Neither of them skated, for sure.
No. Dude, these dudes were like, well, they were me. They were losers. Like, they're not getting laid. I don't even know how old they were. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were over 18, like right in that area.
Yeah.
You know, it was just weird. I got a weird one for you that I was thinking
Okay.
about. Civil War outcome. Now, I'm not
Is it
talking
because I
about
went to the Civil War reenactment?
yes, that's why I was thinking about it. Thank you for reminding. By the way, give me some cliff notes because this was in Washington that you went to this, right?
Yeah, I was on Green Bluff.
Yeah, because I know they obviously down south they do that a lot. I don't know why you'd want to re-celebrate your demise, but what did you think?
It actually wasn't that bad. Like,
Really?
so beforehand, you show up and like the whole camp is set up like it would have been, and then there's some demonstrations of how they used to live back then, and they explain
Mhm.
things. And so that was kind of interesting, but pretty lame.
I wouldn't want to fight a war back then.
Fuck no, it was insane.
Yeah.
And I told you this, but for the listeners, it was awful. So like, I've got a pretty weak stomach,
Mhm.
and we had just eaten breakfast. It was a late breakfast. We went up there, and they have like beer and wine and stuff. So I tasted the beer, but I had just brushed my teeth, so it just hit me wrong. And my stomach was like, no, this isn't gonna work for me. So there's like this one bathroom that's not an outhouse,
Oh
but it's
boy.
a bathroom in a field. Okay, so there's like
Okay.
a door and a floor. It's a bathroom, stick frame bathroom, not an outhouse. I cannot use an outhouse. Anyways, so I'm like, babe, I gotta take a shit like right fucking now. And she's like, okay. And so I like run to the bathroom, shut it. Basically, the first Dumb and Dumber movie situation. And then they start lining up formation right in front of the fucking bathroom. So they're like, Lieutenant Hook. And I'm like, I can see shadows from underneath the door, and they're like 2 feet away from me. And Katie's texting me, do not leave that bathroom. And I'm like crying, laughing.
He got stuck in the Civil War. Oh, that's awesome.
I like peer out real quick to see how close they are, and they're right there. I was like, son of a bitch. So I stood in there for like 10 minutes, just like waiting for them to leave, and they just kept talking and doing their fake thing. And finally, I was like, fuck it. And I just ran out, shut the door, walked around the back way, and blah, blah, blah. And my wife was making fun of me. It was pretty embarrassing.
Jeez.
So then we're trying to figure out where this battle is going to be because where the setup is, they've just used the field. So I was like, where's the battle? And they're like, no, it's up the road, probably 3/4 of a mile.
What are they fucking marching there?
Yeah. But
Oh,
then everybody
geez.
had to walk, which is not a big deal. So we walked over there, find your seat. And then there was this one dude that was kind of like, you could tell he was kind of like the head guy and dressed kind of like Irish with like the derby cap. Is it a derby
Yeah.
cap? It's not like a fedora, but it's the round. I think it's called a derby cap.
Hmm.
And then he pushed this wood wagon over. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Well, then he threw out all these Bose speakers, and he was narrating the whole thing while in character. It was kind of cool.
Do you do like an accent? Is there like
The
a
whole time.
Civil War accent?
No, he stayed in
Dear
Irish
Maul,
accent the entire. Yeah.
I write you from the battlefield of great angst.
Oh yeah. Never missed a note the entire time. And then they have huge cannons shooting back and forth, and they're fake shooting. And then they would like, there was different battalions that would come out in different uniforms, and he was explaining how, like the Civil War, North and South, there was many battalions from different states that did different shit,
Right.
and fought differently. And so they
Oh,
like
I can tell you how they fought. See, this is how it works back in the Civil War days.
not all of them though.
Fucking dumb. Definitely during the Revolutionary
I
War,
was
but
going to say
also
it's more a
still during the Civil
Revolutionary
War.
War
Like,
thing.
it's like, dude, we're gonna fight. We're at war. Yeah, okay, but like, I need a couple days. How about let's meet on Wednesday
Where you're
at this?
Reds.
Yep, at this particular field. So we both know. Does 9 a.m. work for you? Yeah, that works for me. Let's do that.
I'll be in
And we'll
red.
just meet
I'll
at
be
9
playing the
a.m.
drum, holding a big ass flag.
Are we doing shirts and skins? No, dude. It's cold out. We'll be red. You can be blue. Now make sure it's a bright blue, okay? I don't want any half stepping bullshit. We're gonna meet at 9 a.m. on an agreed upon field. And then basically, like, I mean, I just pressed my uniform. So let's just fight standing up. Okay. We'll stand straight up. I'm going to load my musket. Now, boys, if we want to win this war, we want to not all shoot at the same time. It takes about 30 seconds to reload a musket. So should we like kneel down on a knee while we're doing this? No, fuck that. Fuck those guys. Stand straight up. Stay standing up while you're reloading your weapon defenseless.
That's not how
And,
it worked,
and
though. The people
basically,
that reloaded were on a knee.
a
And the
knee,
people
they should have been laying in a fucking hole. So then they're like, okay, so we're gonna stand straight up. Okay, so I get that part. So they're gonna shoot us, we're gonna shoot them. So how do we determine who wins? Oh, basically we just need more people than them because we're definitely gonna die at the same rate. We're standing straight up in the fucking air. Okay, well maybe so we'll just bring like more people. Yes, and 2,000 of their guys will die, and 2,000 of our guys will die. But
yeah,
we brought
everybody bring your wives
2,200.
and kids, and they can make sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Make sure you bring your wife and kids. The visitors area is over there. We're not going to shoot in that area. We're probably going to set up a couple bleachers, but just a few. You'll have to have them bring your own wagon. Okay. Now, here's the important part. Now, we're good to go, boys, because they only have 2,000 soldiers and we got 2,200. 200 of us are going to live and we'll win. Oh, so we just want to like stay near the back. Oh, fuck that. Be a man. Go to the front line. That's where you want to be.
I'm back here on my horse.
Yeah, and all observe from back here on my horse. Now, I'm not going to be directly behind you because that would be in the line of fire. I'm going to be more over to the left over here where the spectators are because we have an understanding that we don't shoot officers.
Right, because I have my bachelor's degree in basket weaving.
Just the plebes. It blows my mind that is how they fought war. And that's why I love that movie, The Patriot, so much, and Mel Gibson. Because they looked at him as some like mongoloid because he wanted to like flank from both sides and have somewhat of camouflage and not stand straight up in the air. They're like, well, that's not honorable. It's just so weird. Anyway, I wrote down Civil War, but for a completely different reason. So you went to the Civil War reenactment, and it got me thinking, like, in every Civil War that I know of, which is not a lot because I don't do a lot of reading, but basically,
well, definitely America and Hawaii.
Yeah. So
that was a slam on a previous conversation that nobody's going to get.
Yeah. But the thing that blew me away is if you look at the outcome of our Civil War. Okay, so the North won, thank goodness. But it seems like they won the war and then they just let the South like carry on as normal. Like there were no concessions like, well, you can't vote for 40 more years. Or like, okay, we won, you're going to pay a higher tax. Like they just were like, okay, we won, so we're America again. I just think it's really cool that as terrible as the Civil War was and as many people died, set that aside. The fact that they didn't really be like, the only limitation that they put on them was, I think, something like the 14th Amendment, where if you were an officer in the South, you weren't allowed to run for office. Like if it was proven that you were part of the insurrection back then, you couldn't run for office, which is the same law that they tried to use against Trump, like literally a Civil War law. But it got me thinking, like, they could have had so many concessions on the South and put them through so much shit, and they didn't.
So I was going to ask you, and I bet you know this answer, we're just complete dipshits.
Maybe it's just because it was like a
other than the
razor thin
South
victory.
wanting to be their own country,
Right.
that was pretty much it. Like they were just sick of paying taxes to the North. Like because it
Well,
wasn't
yeah.
about slavery. They just threw that in at the end for votes.
In my personal opinion, I think it was about slavery because their whole thing was like, if we don't have slaves, we're not going to be able to operate our agriculture business in the same way. And that's how we make money down here. Up north, they didn't need slave labor because that wasn't their industry. So, I mean, neither of us are hugely educated on this, but I definitely think slavery was a huge part of it.
It was a huge part of it, but it wasn't the reason.
It wasn't like we want slaves. It was more like we want to be able to govern our own states and what works for us, which I don't think there's any getting around it. Like, obviously, the South was terrible for wanting slavery.
Well,
I
absolutely.
get it. But I do get the whole states' rights thing because as much as I hate Oregon and its liberal politics, they said, fuck it, we're going to legalize marijuana. And I 100% agree with that. I also agree with a state like Idaho that when COVID mandates were happening, they were like, yeah, we're not doing that. And that's why it's important to have states' rights. And even in this new world where everybody's pissed off because Roe v. Wade is no longer the law of the land, there's still states like the one that me and you live in where you can have abortion all the way up into full term. And yes, there are other states that are rolling back your access to abortion, and you can think about that what you will, but the point is that it's a good thing that we don't have one law for the entire land on some of these issues.
No, I
And
agree with that. And
I got in an
not on the
argument with
abortion
somebody the
thing, but
other
I think
day.
every state should have their own fucking laws. I also
Yeah.
agree, which not going into gun control, but a little bit. I don't think even states should control guns. It should be county to county. Because King County and Spokane County are two different fucking counties. And even in the wild, wild west, if you rode into a county or a town that was a gun-free zone, you could go to the
Right.
sheriff and check your guns.
Yeah, but the difference is this, okay, between abortion and gun control. This is super easy. And people make it way too complicated. Well, no, the point is the whole way that our legal system works is if it's covered in the Constitution, then that is the law of the land. Obviously, we have the Second Amendment. It's part of the Constitution. So when you have a question about gun control, even though states overstep on this a lot, the answer is there. Shall not be infringed. Every citizen has the right to keep and bear arms. It's in the Constitution. Boom. The way our Constitution works is if it's not covered in the federal Constitution, then it gets kicked down to the states. Nowhere in the Constitution is abortion covered. Therefore, it goes to the states. Now, if people want to get together and write an amendment and have that put in the Constitution, great. But if it's not in the Constitution, it goes to the states. That's the way it's supposed to work. And people need to get over it. Like, if you want that to be the law of the land, make an amendment to the Constitution and do it the legal way.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Civil War outcome. I just thought it was kind of neat that they didn't like treat them like second class citizens for losing the war. Maybe for a small period of time, but or maybe it was just because it was a razor thin victory.
They also
so that
didn't
was where they
fucking follow the
negotiated.
rules for years after they lost the war either.
No, they didn't. And Texas, that's why we have Juneteenth as a holiday, because Texas forever was like, no, we're good. We're Texas. We're gonna keep doing it.
Right.
And then federal forces had to come in and be like, hey, by the way, guys, you've been free for pretty long now.
Yeah, they were getting newspapers.
No, they didn't have Joe Rogan back then. So anyway, United States has a credit problem, and I blame Birdman.
Yeah.
So I was listening to some 90s rap the other day, and Birdman was on it. Every single one of their songs is about cars.
Was that his noise?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's Cardi B, actually.
No, hers was more like, eh.
They all have their sound.
Oh my god, we were listening to Master P the other night shooting pool for like
Yeah.
2 hours straight. I'm like,
Nice.
I miss this so much.
Dude, it was so good. It was terrible.
It was terrible.
But
It
it was
was
good. Like,
terribly good.
so all these rappers have their unique sound. You're gonna need yours, Mr. P. Yeah, that'll work.
I'll make him say,
Huh? Like a question? Nah, make it more aggressive. Yeah, that'll work. Like, but it's good stuff.
so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yes, that the late 90s rap was all about gold and diamond chains and teeth
And cars.
and just
And
being
never about a
flashy as
home.
fuck. No.
Like, I don't know if it's just because it's rap and nothing rhymes with escrow, but like there was never talk about like, you know, can you rhyme equity with anything? Like I got home equity. Maybe that's why it's not in there. Like you can rhyme anything with 6-0, but you know, you can't rhyme down payment. Like down payment is not thug.
No.
Can't rap about that.
No.
You know? I mean, you could rap about hating the HOA. That's something.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's plenty of songs about that.
You know, you could brag about your lawnmower. I'm just saying, like, everybody's all obsessed with getting cars and not doing real investments. That's all I had on your one.
That is my favorite though. When you drive by a place and it's like this a shithole house, single wide or whatever, and there's like a brand new BMW. You're just like,
I know, yeah,
dude, where are your principles? Like, what is your goal here?
And it's got an Uber sticker on the back.
Right.
Oh man, I should have wore it
a quarter mile at a time.
I should have wore it, Joe, but I got for the first time in probably 25 years a pro fitted hat because we were going to the Mariners game, and I was like, I haven't had a pro fitted hat forever. So we go. I was like, well, it's 45.
Oh, that's not bad.
But then you got to pay extra because, of course, I want it. They charge you an extra $2 to shape the bill. I was like, I can shape the bill, and they're like, you can, bro. But if you do that, you're gonna bend the cardboard and you're gonna like snap it. Whereas we use a steamer and it reshapes it. It's better. So I paid the $2 for that. And then they also have a weather proofing spray that they can spritz on it and kind of like bless it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So of course I paid for that. It was a couple bucks. So I think I was like $55 getting out of there for this hat.
Not bad. Which sounds horrible, but dude, hats are so fucking expensive, it's stupid.
But the thing that tripped me out was like
did you leave the sticker on it?
Fuck no. I thought about it. I totally thought about it. But the chick in the store was super cool because I was like, I don't understand this whole snapback thing. Oh, the reason it came up is because I was like, yeah, I was stoked. I haven't had a pro fit hat in like 25 years. And she's like, they call it pro back now.
Oh my God.
It's not pro fitted, it's pro back, as in the opposite of snapback. I was telling her, I was like, I don't understand the whole like snapback thing is cool.
Ours just called it fitted.
Well, yeah, pro fitted. I didn't know
there was like a prefix to it.
My point is I don't understand why the snapback became the cool one to wear. That's what poor people wear.
It looks better backwards.
I disagree.
I can say that much. Oh, dude. So I wear a snapback for two reasons. One, they're cheaper. And two,
bingo, you just proved my point. Snapbacks are for poor people. Keep going.
They look better backwards.
I have a good friend.
I have
a good friend named Fred Durst from a little band called Limp Bizkit that would disagree with you, sir.
I don't think he can disagree with me right now.
Fred Durst wouldn't have looked near as cool in a snapback.
I'm just saying he's dead, so he doesn't have an opinion.
Fred Durst is not dead.
He's not dead?
No, he's fucking crushing it right now.
Oh,
he's doing this whole thing where he's like all gray haired now, and he literally dresses like an old man.
Yeah. Who's the dude that
Fred
just
Durst
died? That's
crushing it.
Basically Fred Durst.
Oh man.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. But I was
It was
playing
the same era of awful music.
I was watching, or I was on my phone on Instagram, and this thing came up where this Asian dude was doing like a perfect rendition of Scott Stratt from Creed, like
Yeah.
singing like "Freedom's and here," and Tana was not joking. She literally looked over and said, "Is that you?" I was like, "Really? You think I'm the guy from fucking Creed? I want a divorce." she's
Ah,
not. She's not half wrong though. That's definitely in my wheelhouse.
oh, for sure.
I definitely never listen to Creed on my way home and sing to it ever.
No, never, ever. Can you take me
Oh man.
higher?
So my son is all into playing Roblox right now.
Hmm.
And
I don't know this game.
okay. So
Oh,
it's kind of a cool concept.
I've heard it, but I don't. I've always just pictured Minecraft.
It's pretty much it's kind of similar, except for you have your character that you build, but you can take that character and play hundreds of different games. There's tons of different scenarios, and you just take the same character that you're building up and play all these different games. It's like a a la carte video game, right? So
Okay.
I come upstairs the other day and he's playing a video game for children, Joe, where the premise is your wife left you, she took the kids, and you're selling her stuff so you can pay child support.
So it's a country song.
Yes, but it's a child's video game.
So he's doing like a swap meet and just selling shit.
He's selling her shit that she left at the house when she left him so that he can pay the bills. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen. And it's a kid's video game.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, he's explaining it to me. And I'm like, no, I get it. This is messed up. I was like, but it was a good lesson because I was like, this is why it's very important, son, that you only marry somebody if you're absolutely sure that they are the one.
Or in the same
Insane.
tax bracket.
Yeah. Well, that helps too, because then at least like bad enough you're breaking up, but you shouldn't have to one of you go broke.
Right.
You know, or be homeless.
They
That's
should
why I
just do
never
away with
wanted to
all that
date a
shit.
girl that didn't work because, like if my wife wanted to stay at home and raise the kids, obviously I would love it if I was financially successful enough to make that happen. But if I were to break up with a girl, I would want her to be able to support herself because it's bad enough you're breaking up, but then they have no means of supporting themselves. That would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I watched that happen. So I don't ever want to put somebody
Well,
else in that position.
the house I live in right now is that scenario that I purchased it from.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
the wife never worked in her entire fucking life, and she was very upset.
That's why it's weird that so many people are upset at that kicker. I think is Jason Butker or something like that from the Chiefs, where he was
The college
speaking.
statement.
Yeah, he was at Catholic college, and he was basically just saying like, I know you all got your degrees and everything, but venture to say it's probably never going to bring you as much joy as being a mother and building your family. But he was proving the point that I'm making right now is those are good Christian, Catholic, whatever girls that probably are going to be stay-at-home moms and be great mothers. But they also were smart enough to go to college and build a base for themselves to where if they ever need to work, they're good to go.
Yeah, and it goes back to my entire point that I just said at the beginning of this episode to my best friend that's a narcissist, that your entire life changed once you had a kid.
Absolutely.
So that's not a fucked up thing to say. It's just true.
Well, and I never thought I would I'm lucky enough to where my wife's been able to tailor back her hours a little bit. So she doesn't work full time anymore. And, I don't make enough to where she can just not work because my wife makes more money than me. But The fact that we're able to be in a situation where she doesn't have to work full time and she can spend more time with our kid is awesome. And I never would have looked at life that way before. And I don't think she would have either. So all
Growing
our
up
kids are being raised
sucks.
by other people now.
They're getting raised by fucking tablets. That's what they're getting raised by.
Yeah. Well, at least they're playing video games, teaching them about divorce and paying the bills. That is so crazy.
Real life.
I'm almost there, Joe. We're almost at an hour. I'm almost there. I got to tell you, I milked a cow.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
It's the milking the cow was disgusting. Like I was like, am I being too hard on this thing? Because I'm
You
like,
immediately wash your hands.
well, this was a very, obviously the farmer. We washed all the udders down. We hit them with betadine. We washed our hands. I was actually kind of impressed at how clean she kept everything. But it was still a fucking dirty cow.
Is this on Pornhub? Was there like a lot of lathering going on with this cow?
No, but this lady, I'm not bringing this subject up because I milked a cow, which was cool. I did not take milk straight from the teat sprayed into my mouth like Parker and my wife did. That's insane. I know it's the same milk. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not doing it.
No, I don't.
Refrigerate that shit. I'll think about it. Right?
I barely even drink milk. I put milk in coffee. That's about it.
I was so impressed with this lady because she owned some land. She had some cows and a bunch of chickens and a bunch of goats. And she is making money on every single part of that property. So she's like a lot of these people nowadays where they're doing like a self-sustaining homestead farm where everything kind of supports each other kind of thing, right? So she got full solar setup, 100% off grid. And then, so she's to make money. Not only do they have the self-sustaining farm, they're paying for all their own energy and all that with solar. She's got an Airbnb over here that she rents out. Over here, she's got a couple hip camping spots that she rents out. And then a couple days a week, she does this tour where you show up to her house. People like me that live in Happy Valley, perfect suburbs with the New Seasons 2 blocks away, pay to go out there. And she says, okay, you're going to do my farm chores for me tonight. And she just walks you around. You feed all the animals. Okay. You go over, you pick up the chickens, you collect any eggs that are in there. And then you go grab one of the cows. Her name is Sierra. And you walk her over to the lawn. And she gives you this whole thing on how you milk the cow. Right.
Oh, God. I was really struggling to get a Russell Wilson joke in there somehow. And I couldn't figure it out.
So anyway, so I'm milking this cow and I'm thinking I'm getting the hang of this. And then she comes over and like, I don't know how this isn't painful for the cow, but she's going to town on this cow. And like, I'm just saying, like, it probably takes a while to get to that level.
Yeah.
So then,
like, babe, are you watching?
We get done milk. Yeah. We get done milking the cow. And then she brings out a whole bunch of like stuff that she makes with the milk. So she brings out, raw milk that's been milked that morning. It's been refrigerated. Sour cream, yogurt, this stuff called ghee. It's like a fat butter kind of thing that you use to make steaks. Fucking awesome. Chapstick and fresh honey from her bees, because also, of course, she's got bees. And then at the very end, it's all for sale. So you end up buying a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
The lady's a genius.
Where is this?
I just thought it was cool. It's like probably 20-25 minutes towards Mount Hood from where we live, out past Sandy.
Gotcha. How did your wife find this shit?
Like, that's just what she does. She's always looking for stuff for us to do. And I'm super lucky because, like I said, there's different kinds of people. Some people like spending their money on an experience. Not me. I know what I like. I would much rather spend my money on a possession, something that I can hold and keep and have forever. Like, I don't give two shits. I would love to go to Italy and see all the old architecture, but I'm not spending the money for a plane ticket and hotels and everything to go walk around and see something that I can never hold again. I'd much rather spend it on a Jeep part that I
The thing
keep.
is with travel that fucking bothers me. And so I've seen a lot of the world.
Yeah,
A lot.
you join the Navy, and that's the way you should do it.
And I've seen a lot of countries. And one, we live in
Most
the
of them
best.
Asian, which you're not allowed in anymore.
But it's all the same shit. It really
Yes,
is. You go somewhere and it's all the same shit. Most of the shit, like I've never seen the Colosseum, but like the Colosseum isn't even the real Colosseum. They rebuilt it to make it look ran down. And
and
most of
there's
it,
like a McDonald's 200 feet away from it.
right? Most of it's bullshit. My favorite pictures. I've never seen the pyramids either. I've been to Jordan, but I've never seen the pyramids. Obviously, the pyramids are not in Jordan. I realize that, but geographically, I was really fucking close for all you people. Um, the pictures of the fucking pyramids looks amazing, but I always love the shots facing the other way
Where
because
you
they're
see the
fucking
McDonald's.
right.
Yeah.
Dude, you didn't ride a camel there. You took an Uber, and they're right fucking there. Like it's such smoke and mirrors. Like I would love like my sister went to South America on a cruise, and they saw like the Mayan temples and shit. And like those to me, which I saw the videos, are more secluded than Egypt, which was
Yeah.
like it's fucking downtown.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, every time I saw art or anything we did, I'm like, this. There was nothing. Oh my god, this is amazing. Like I don't even give a shit about seeing the Mona Lisa. Like I would just wouldn't care.
The only thing I kind of want to see is some of the old churches in Italy. Just the old architecture, how it's still
I would love to
standing.
see castles,
Yeah, that's another one.
castles,
Yep.
and fucking waterfalls.
Yeah, I don't care about waterfalls, but I
I've
get
seen
what
some
you're
cool
saying.
waterfalls, and
Mhm.
that they're not obviously man-made. Like I've seen some cool spots where you're just like, holy shit, how does this exist?
As long as you don't go chasing them, you're fine.
Yeah, can't go chasing waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. But yeah, there's some stuff I would like to see, but most of them are stateside. Like I want to go to Washington D.C. and see all the war memorials,
I would love to go to
and
DC,
and I want to go to the cemetery.
but even the
And
fucking
just
not DC, but Dakota. What's the fucking Mount Rushmore?
I heard it's underwhelming.
Oh god, dude, I'm like, really? Because
That's it.
that's it. Like all the pictures
Nicholas
make it look
Cage
like
made
it's
it look much bigger.
fucking huge. And like, granted, yes, it was made before like they had cranes and shit. So I understand, but it's not that impressive. And
Well,
maybe
they
I'm an
only
asshole.
built that thing to cover up the Golden City. We all know that.
Right. You have to hike behind there. There's a pond, and then you have to move a rock, or you stick your hand in the eagle stone, and then there's a
Yeah,
lever.
you got to surrender your hand to the heart of the beast, and you will be rewarded.
Which is ironic because the drive up there, you were actually behind the mountain the whole time, and then you come to the front, and there is
Mhm.
no water behind it. But whatever.
Well, it's,
And
well, that's a
one
cover up
day
too.
they'll finish Wild Horse, which is
Cibola,
Wild Horse.
Cibola, that's what it's called.
What's
Wild
Cibola?
Horse. No, I don't know that one.
I'm pretty sure it's called Wild Horse. So it's right next to Mount Rushmore, and it's
Mhm.
a huge mountain that the natives are making this dude Wild Horse on his
Mhm.
horse, and he's riding it, and they've been
That's
working
cool.
on it for like 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
And so they were blasting when we were at Mount Rushmore, which was kind of cool. But like they're trying to, and it's way fucking bigger than Mount Rushmore. First of all,
Cool.
it looks pretty fucking gangster. That was more impressive than Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. There's some stuff that would be cool to see, but like I said, nowadays it is so expensive to travel. I'd much rather just spend that money on something I can keep and I can have fun with every day.
I want to go Mexico all inclusive, sit on a beach, throw my fucking phone in the ocean, and be bored
Mhm.
as fuck for a week.
Dude, I'm calling it right now. Me and you say Wataneo. Let's fucking go.
Do you remember the name of the town?
I do remember the name of town. And I guarantee that they have an all-inclusive resort there or somewhere close. We should go all-inclusive, take the wives, Because the all-inclusives in Mexico, have you been to the all-inclusives in Mexico?
Dude, I don't even have my passport. I realized about a year ago I have never left this country outside of the military, and I was like, "Ooh, that's awful."
Dude, we went for Tana's baby moon, which was ironic because she couldn't drink. She was pregnant. But
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking like this is all inclusive. You don't even have to pay for alcohol.
What the fuck is a baby moon?
Baby moon is a new thing. It's the vacation you take while you're pregnant because it's the last vacation you're going to get for like years.
Never heard that shit. That's some Portland shit.
That's some Portland shit. So we went to not Cewataneo. We went to Puerto Vallarta and an adult only all inclusive, no fucking kids. And I thought they were going to like skimp on the alcohol and stuff to like make up for it. No. Top shelf alcohol the whole time.
Yeah, zero fucks.
Our only goal was to get hungry again so that we could eat again. Every meal was the best meal I've ever had in my life. And it's honestly the reason I hate going to Hawaii.
Yeah, fuck
Because
that place.
the Mexico experience is so much better. I don't want to fucking leave the resort. I'm going somewhere so I can walk 20 feet to the pool, and that is all. I don't want to fucking go anywhere or do anything. So Hawaii is lost on me. Mexico all inclusive all the way.
I'm
So
too
we should
stupid
go.
to
I would love to go to
say
Cewataneo.
Wataneo because I typed it and Google didn't know what the fuck I was saying. So then Shawshank Redemption. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Andy Dufresne crawled through 200 yards of shit, came out of the other side a clean, free man.
I don't have any internet because I'm in a basement. That's a bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm. Well, first you have to go to a tree and look down a rock fence and find a black marble stone that has no business being there.
Yeah. Oh my god, I thought it was like 3 words. It's 1 word and it starts with a Z. Zihuatanejo.
That's like kind of how they say Jesus is Jesus. It's all weird.
80. We're at this. I don't know if this is HIPAA. It's not really HIPAA. So she used to call patients back.
Just calling back patients.
She's like, Jesus? Jesus?
He did not.
She did too. And then she came.
Oh my god.
And she's telling me, and I start busting up. I was like, it's Jesus. And she's like, how do you know that? I'm like, oh my god.
I called a patient Crystal once and she was pissed. It's Cristal.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's a whole. Well, we should write that down for a fucking subject.
Oh, I've got some good ones. So, teaser for the next episode, listeners. I think we got to everything today. My sister, Tiffany, was awesome. She called me this week. I realized I don't talk to my sister nearly enough. But I ended up calling her a couple days later because she called me to say that she was bored. She had nothing to do that day. And she listened to all 9 episodes in a row and gave constructive yeah. Oh, yeah. But she gave good feedback, like when we say the subjects and then we don't get to them kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She said some other stuff, but shout out to her for listening that long. I was going somewhere with that. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. So in typical Jesse fashion, we talked about podcasts for 20 minutes, and I didn't ask her a single question about how her life was going. Which is because it's always the Jesse show. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know it well. So
you've literally told me after recording, I like the show a lot more when I speak more.
I know. I'm terrible. It's Jay and Silent Bob, only you're not silent. I'm just an asshole.
Just shut the fuck up, Joe.
Trying to talk over here. But no. So I called her back and it was just really nice to catch up with her. I don't do it enough. But next episode, great idea. We're going to talk about the top 5 conspiracy theories, what our thoughts are on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say which conspiracies they are yet, but I want to know more about Building 7. We'll tease it with that.
Are we gonna pre-talk about? Are you gonna give me the 5?
I'll give you the 5. Yeah, I wanted to do it this episode for episode 10, but obviously both of us are worthless and lazy.
Well, you follow all this shit, so give me the 5 beforehand, so I can read a little bit, and then I can create a.
Mm-hmm. Listen, don't just go doing your own research. That's very unprofessional.
I'm gonna go YouTube.
Mainstream media narrative. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Listen to the approved thoughts. But the Earth is flat. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, have you ever gone down that road?
I have, dude, and
it's almost believable.
You can almost believe it. There's some good fucking arguments.
But just flight patterns and how the flight patterns don't make sense of why they would fly a certain direction. None of them. You're like, oh my God. And they're all surrounded in a circle of ice. And I've totally gone down this road just to see the other side. And I'm like, fuck, I kind of buy some of this.
I mean, what makes a conspiracy is that it's partially believable. If it weren't at least a little believable, it would never leave the ground, right? Speaking of leaving the ground, I don't think we landed on the moon. But that'll be on there as well.
That's such bullshit. But as Will Smith said, we're in a locker at the train station. So that is
true. Right? Yes, he carries the galaxy around his neck.
Yes.
Yes. Men in black.
Right. Over an hour. Next episode will be pretty fucking interesting.
Next episode is conspiracy.
There.
So it's next episode is episode 11, and we're going to record it at 9 p.m. It'll be 9 p.m. somewhere. So, yeah, 9/11 episode. Right. Till next time. This is Jesse and Joe, the Real for Life podcast.
I didn't have to pee this time.
Nice.
I made it.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.